Hello, everyone. We're live. Scott, get that off the screen. That's spoilers.
Journey tentacles for the internet.
Hello, Glenn. Yes, scrolling crossbones for this already cursed stream. I am so tired today.
Yes, same.
But it's that good kind of tired because we just had session 1 of season 2 of Tales of Aneria last night. The recording. Realms. Yes. I need to start calling it that instead of season 2 of Tales of Aneria. Yes, we had the first session of Aneria, the Shattered Realms last night, and it was fun. It was good to get back into it after months of not playing.
Yeah, like 2 months. And you'll see, when we post it, you'll see how little we remember about our characters.
Yeah. Hello, Casey. Thank you for joining us on Twitch.
Hello.
But I think tonight we're just going to take it easy.
Yeah.
Well, easy breezy, right?
Yeah, we always do on Friday, right?
Yeah, it's just nice and chill. I think I just want you to paint some woodland creatures tonight, but not like the usual type of woodland creatures. We're painting fae.
Not a bunch of dogs again?
No, not a bunch of dogs again. Oh. We are painting fae, so I think we've got 2 different options here.
Well, we've got more than 2 different options.
Yeah, let's switch over to the paint cam so we can see. Also, I will be munching on food throughout.
So we got some dryads. Pretty cool dryads. Anthony, welcome.
Yeah, welcome, and good evening, Bosco, as well. Thank you, Anthony, for $13.99. Starting the stream off right, I see. Yeah, so we got some dryads, we got some satyrs.
Some pretty cool ones. This guy's got a spear and shield. We got spear and shield female version. Different pose.
Played the Dungeon Dudes one-shot Black Ivory Inn from Drakkenheim. Was epic and should try to adopt the same into a one-shot without the guys knowing. That would be really cool. I do love adapting a good one-shot for your world and throwing it on in.
I do too.
I like that one a whole lot.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool. She's got double daggers.
Yeah. Wait, satyrs can't be girls?
This one's pretty cool. I like the poses for these ones are like just released. Yeah, like they just released the bow, arrow.
Snap the string.
Yeah. I like
it's just easier not to have the string.
The clawed hand. I actually, when I was printing them, I actually found that I forgot to print one of the clawed hands.
Yeah.
And I had to go back and print it.
Yeah, these satyrs definitely look a little bit more war bent than your typical satyrs are, right?
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Would you grab me my tablet so I can have some reference?
These are from
Artisan Guild.
Artisan Guild, yep. For any who are interested. Yeah. You can check them out on Patreon. A lot of our cool little figures come from there.
And My Mini Factory.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Here's your tablet.
I just wanted some reference, some satyr reference.
Hello, Glenn. Enjoy the bonfire. Don't fall in. Make sure to make an offering, that sort of thing.
Yep, never fall into the bonfire, right?
Tell Scott to block his ears. Scott, block your ears.
Earmuffs. Okay.
It's terrifying. Definitely have the guys try it in the campaign. Okay, I will. I think I'm going to.
How dare I listen?
Mean, cranky goat people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
A little gruff. One might say.
A little gruff, indeed.
Yeah. I'm very excited to show off session 1 in 2 weeks, September 14th. Very exciting. What else was I going to say? Next week is session 0, though.
Yes.
We've got a special session 0 coming out.
All right.
Get your vibrations out of the way, and then we'll get to things. All right, perfect.
Too much coffee.
Yep. Okay, the wife was showing me a video of a Disney World attraction. It was the Yellow Brick Road, like Munchkin ride. Mm-hmm. And one of the Munchkins broke in one of the towers, and he was sitting there vibrating, and it looked like he was enjoying the people on the ride very much.
Welcome to my ride.
No, it was more like the hand was beneath the windowsill that he was leaning out of, and it really looked bad.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, final countdown indeed. Getting close. I'm so stoked. I've got a lot of writing that I need to do. because I wanted to come out and post at least a few short stories. I obviously haven't gotten to the whole 12.
You mean
that I
the
wanted
secret
to.
artistry of DMing is
Never done.
is winging it and
Yeah.
doing it at the last minute?
Yep. Actually, I was so prepared for this first session.
Yeah.
It's insane how prepared I was, and I kind of felt like it was a bit detrimental, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because I felt like when the pause came and people like were the party was kind of sitting around like wondering what to do next, instead of like letting you guys figure something out and say what you want to do, I kind of just started going on to the next thing because I had it all prepared.
Yeah.
And so it kind of made the session feel like it was just rushing past.
I felt a little similar on Saturday with mine.
Well, I don't feel like that at all. I feel like we meandered way too much, and you didn't have to worry about taking the reins too often.
Well, I
think you may have taken the reins to like push us along.
Yeah,
because
well,
we were definitely.
I only did that because we had a kind of a sort of a time limit, so I was trying to get everyone to like move a little bit through the story without fully railroading everything,
Yeah.
But it worked out pretty well, I thought.
Yeah.
Cory actually painted.
I did. Is he down here?
Yeah, he's in the miniature cabinet.
I'll be right back. I get to run off again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Toys.
Oh, dog toys. Yeah, we finally got to get him to paint, and I actually had all of my players come in and paint their characters so that they could get kind of used to it, which I thought was kind of cool. So, oh, here he comes.
Sorry, I'm very proud of my whale lord. I need to show him off. I actually thought I did an alright job painting him, so yeah.
Come on. There we go.
See the dry brushing that I tried to do on the top there?
I like it because it kind
works.
of looks like almost like barnacle-esque.
Yeah, and that was the idea behind it. I'm not a big fan of the fin.
Is that a star?
That's supposed to be a starfish, right?
Oh, okay.
But because I just painted it over it blue, I just kind of redded it up a little bit to make it look like a scar, almost like he had been attacked by something and it left kind of a star imprint scar.
We'll have to fix that. We'll put some clear on it.
Yep.
And make it disappear.
Yeah, all the water I didn't paint. That was actually
that's clear.
That's
clear
the
resin.
clear resin that it was printed on.
And then we masked it off. I actually masked it off with silly putty
before
painter's
primer
secret.
and the rest.
You can see it. You can see from the bottom. It's that same clear resin. So
the difference between railroading and storytelling is the expert use of plot hooks and motivation. Yes, and I felt like I was too railroady, but not really.
No, I thought you were fine.
Because I mean, you guys were all kind of going along with it. Obviously, the new characters are a little bit in a whirlwind of welcome to the Wayward Watch at this point, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's just like, oh yeah, we're here. We want your help. I guess we'll follow along with your crazy antics.
Yep.
And there's a moment in it, and this isn't really a big spoiler, where you reveal something to Colby's character, and Colby's character's like, oh, well, it looks like kind of fate follows you around. So I definitely want to join you guys so that I can try and learn more about this, because it sounds like you guys just stumble onto things almost. Basically is what it sounded like. And it's like, yep, that's the Wayward Watch. They just kind of stumble into things.
We kind of do.
Looks like he has a water elemental vibe to him. Yeah, a little bit. I definitely am going with more of an aquatic style druid with a more water nature magic feel to it, just because I like the I like the idea of it, especially for a whale lord. He is an interesting character so far. I don't know how you liked him.
I liked him a lot. He was very fun, and if I can get the editing and stuff done well and the next few sessions go, I will be releasing it online. But yeah, he was very fun. His character is very much not interrupting, but definitely likes to talk to people.
Yes.
So every
He's
person
sociable.
that they ran into, he was like, "Oh, hello, I'm Adiad, and let me explain my life story to you."
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the group had to be like, "All right, come on,
Yeah.
let's go."
Yeah, there was a lot of pushing along, and Anian, I made the character with the intent that he really was patient and slow, and everything time really didn't have a meaning for him, right?
Yeah, whales are very long lived in the wild, so
yeah, and it's kind of just take that slow pace, go nice and easy through the water. You don't have to rush or anything like that. But yeah, I'm very happy with the way he turned out as far as the paint job goes.
Yeah, I think you did a good job.
Yep.
And we had a couple others. Obviously, when I release the video, you'll be able to see them. But
Yeah.
And one or two of them are not in my possession because they got taken home to be touched up and finished.
Yeah.
So that it kind of tells me, like, at least in that aspect, they're excited. My players were excited to at least do that part of it. So.
Yeah, you did a good job, man.
Thank you.
Yep. We obviously, like, because the paint in session 0 took up a good half of the time.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get to a lot of what the campaign had planned. We kind of just got into the city, started learning something, got our first mission, and then we were like, it's pretty late, we actually have to go. you know. So but I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed a more relaxed pace, and it feels like that group is really, it kind of meshes well for storytelling and whatnot.
Yeah, they're everyone in that group is very RP heavy, which I really like. Hopefully you guys can still enjoy combat. I'm sure you will. But yeah, it's definitely a good mix of... I don't know if it's like all theater kids, because you didn't all go to theater, but you kind of all have that similar vibe, which makes it really easy for me as a DM to tell a story and have you guys be all in on it, because you know you're there to help tell your part of the story, and be included in it. And
we got to meet the big orc and his hog food cart.
Under and Rundu.
Rundu.
Which I showed off last stream.
Was it your intention to make me wait the full 10 minutes for my Speak with Animals ritual to complete? Because I started that ritual, and you were like, okay, and then you started talking with the other players, and I swear it was 10 minutes before you were finally
Cory,
like...
you didn't hear? This session or this game is all realism all the time.
No.
If it's going to take you an hour to cast something, we're going to wait an hour for you to cast.
We'll just sit right here then, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, Eric, that is what a water... That is probably something that Audian would say. Anthony, yes, you did hear us correctly. We did record session 1 of season 2 last night. In fact, if you look carefully... No, you don't have it up on the computer right now. They wouldn't be able to see it anyway, but yeah, it was a good time. I'm stoked.
We also, and then earlier we recorded session 0, so that one will be out fairly shortly. Next week? Next Wednesday.
Yes.
Yes. Yep, so upcoming Wednesday, which everyone will get to watch.
Which is awesome.
Yes.
I need to talk to Dallin and Colby and see if they'd be willing to record audio for their character backstories as well.
Yeah, kind of get
a little hype going for them.
Yeah.
Because they've got really good backstories, and Colby's in particular is pretty fire. Actually, he came up with a really cool little
I
thing
have
there.
not read it. Partially that's because I've been busy with other things, but partially I kind of want to be surprised.
Yeah.
Kind of like I like reading backstories, but I also enjoy
learning about the character.
Learning about it, yeah.
That's completely valid. That's a great way to play.
Yeah.
I remember when we were talking about my character, not my character, but one of the other characters in the group, and you started mentioning something, and I went, I don't want to know their backstory. I want to learn it as part of the as a party member.
In my game?
Yeah, in your game.
Nice.
So. Bosco, I'm loving the music tonight. Everybody was... I did not have expert timing, though. No, I did not. I felt like I again, like, it was after, 2 months of not playing, and I felt like I was just,
We were all off. Don't worry about it.
It was just, a little... It was just a little off, but it's always that way when especially when it's a game where I'm tired that day, right? Where I end up and I'm just kind of like...
Well...
Oh, the end of that, it was just super fine.
So, a little behind the scenes, we play at around 8:30 or 9 o'clock on Thursday nights, and Cory has to be up at around 6 in the morning for work, and so there's not a lot of rest between days, and I know.
And then
I struggle on Fridays. Thankfully, I get to work from home, and so it's a little easier to be able to roll down the stairs.
I'm working from home too. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
so.
I don't have to be up at 6.
Yeah, but it definitely is like, game ends at midnight. I get to bed and probably fall asleep around 1 o'clock, and then wake up at 5:30 to get ready for the day, and then I get to stream on Fridays now. So
Yeah.
I definitely have to take a nap Friday after work. Typically,
God, you're old.
I am an old man or a baby. There is no in between.
There's no in between. Yeah.
Yep.
You could be an old baby. I'm sure there's plenty of our viewers that do either swing shift or work weird hours, and that's prime time for listening to podcasts.
I know Bosco is usually working actually during the streams.
That's true.
But that could be swing shift for us, but he could be over in Europe. I don't remember where Bosco's from.
I think he's U.S. based.
My wife says she's an old baby too.
2 old babies married.
Yeah, can we sacrifice a couple goats for the algorithm as well? Is that something we can do on YouTube?
I mean, I can break one of these characters. I'd rather not, though.
What a horrible concept.
What?
Sacrificing a character. Like a figure.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. That's why I have a hard time letting anyone touch the figures, because there's been many a breakage, sometimes on stream. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you break them, then you have nobody to blame but
Yeah,
you.
if I break them, whatever. I did it. I'd fix them. But if someone else did it, and it hits harder.
Yeah.
It hits different.
29:30. Thank you. I am 32. Yeah.
36.
Yep.
So we're 4 years apart.
Yes, old in the sense of like I am definitely in my 30s now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It feels a lot older than it is, and I feel about 10 years older than that just because of my stuff that I need to work on.
I physically feel okay most days. Last weekend I hadn't mowed the lawn in like 3 weeks, and so it took me like 2.5 hours to mow the damn lawn, because it was I do like one pass down the yard and then turn around halfway, and then
we need to get you one of those threshers.
Yeah, that would make me less tired,
Yes.
right? Sure. Yeah, it took like 2 hours, and then I did some other work, landscaping style stuff, because I haven't done it around the house for a while, and oh my god, I was so sore the next day. I went, it was on Monday, and I stood up from bed, and I went, ow, yep, old age. Thanks.
All right, yep, that's my back, yep, and my hip, and my arms, and the legs,
Oh, my knees, my thighs, ow.
My most of me.
My most of me's, yes. Yes.
Yeah, we're at the point in our lives where an injury takes months to recover from, not just weeks, like when we were kids.
I remember used to stay up until 4 a.m, go to sleep, wake up at 6:30, and then go to school, be just fine, and now I can't.
Yep.
I can't do that.
Yeah. Hey, Holden, thank you for the $5.
Awesome.
Finally able to make it to stream. Love your show. It's always important to play when you're able, which means breaks for the overworked people. Yes.
Reminder, our release schedule is 3 weeks and then take a week off. So
speaking of overworked.
Yeah, so we can
catch up a little bit.
Take some breaks.
Honestly, the biggest reason for that is just because we got to the point where we were getting really tired of having to like reschedule the game or worry about like people going on vacation, and so like doing a 3-in-1 will eventually get so far ahead that if we have to miss a week of the game,
it'll be okay.
Yeah,
we'll have some backup.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it definitely got frustrating when it was, people want to go on vacation, and I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Vacations are fun.
Every donation somebody else makes, Anthony has to make another donation. Thank you, appreciate it, Anthony.
Donator.
Yep. Doesn't matter if he's still top chat all the time. Like,
is there a way to like give an award or a title to someone?
The best we can give him is Discord moderator.
Well, that's not a reward. I said reward, Cory, not punishment.
Yeah, I hope that you guys are all getting to play games. Oh, let's talk about one other thing with game night before we move on to other topics. Colby's new character.
Okay.
Holy crap! I knew he was going to play something crazy, right?
Right.
But what he pulled out and what he was able to do with that character in just this first combat is incredible.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it's definitely something that we've lacked.
Yes, he is a walking plague, and it doesn't that's not the concept behind it, but that is like the first thing that pops in my head is like
plague beast.
No, he's just got this like aura around him that just kills everything within it. You know, I love it. I absolutely love it. So,
I just went on to Hero Forge and took his character and did a slightly different pose. And took some of the gear and stuff off.
Okay.
And I am going to print up...
You're going to do an astral form?
I'm going to print up an astral form with probably like a translucent black.
Oh,
and then do
nice.
star spatter on it.
Do you want to try that glitter?
I
know you keep hesitating to do that.
But maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, I want to do an astral form. And then I was going to... At the same time, I was going to do your Audion. Your character's astral form as well.
Which is supposed to be this, but that's my bad. Maybe we'll do the other figure for it.
There's one where he doesn't have a staff or anything, or the water. So.
Yeah, I know glitter is terrible, but
I was going to try to use it in 3D printer. I've seen some success with it, but I've also seen some people say that it doesn't do much at all. It all depends on if it can be suspended long enough in the resin to actually do anything. We'll see. But yeah, I thought an astral form would be kind of cool, and I took off all the gear and stuff because it just wouldn't make sense to print out the same character and only color his feet, hands, and head in the astral form. Also, I didn't want to paint a bunch of buckles again and straps. So,
well, that's the great thing about the astral form is it can still look like clothes. Like, did you give him a Ken doll treatment?
No, he's still got pants.
Dang.
But I took the shirt off and the like back items and stuff that he's got. So yeah, I think it'll look pretty cool.
Yeah, Anthony, my wife just went through shoulder surgery, and it's been like 3 months getting up to the surgery, and it's going to be like another 3 or 4 months before she's done with physical therapy and everything. So, feel you on the shoulder there. That is never fun to have to deal with. Yeah, but I think everybody's going to be really happy with it. The funny thing is, like, he didn't just, like, when he was talking about it, he said he didn't do one of his builds. He said it was like, well, he said it was a combination of a few different builds.
Oh, okay.
Like he had taken the parts that he liked from a few of them and matched them together. So I'm really excited for people to see and talk about how it was.
Oh yeah, I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And his character is definitely a little different than Ceradon, which is going to take a little getting used to, but not in a bad way. Just more like I expect Colby to say one thing and then says something totally different, and it's like, oh, right, different character, forgot.
And along that lines, like I really like Dallin's new characterization for his character. Mm-hmm. Like the accent that he's got is great. The kind of gruffness that he brings to the character is awesome. I'm very excited to see that character open up and become explored during the process of the campaign.
I mean, we can cut him open and explore him. That's what
yes. I request magical girl transformation animation of Colby's character into astral form. I will have Preston get right on it.
next art stream
will
be, hey Preston, this is what you got to draw.
Yep. I might get him to draw the new characters on the next art stream. That does sound like a good one. I'm trying to see if I can work out a time with Colby to get him on an art or paint stream so that he can just like hang out, because he's the only one who hasn't yet. So
yeah, like everyone poke him.
The Tarask wakens. Hello, Purple Tarask.
Hello, welcome.
Yeah, send him a comment on every one of his videos that you want to see him on one of the streams. Now, we were talking about sliding into my DMs last night, actually, while you were upstairs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and he's, like, we were just talking about, like, where it's at and how we get a few comments on it every now and then to bring it back, right? And he goes, yeah, I need to. I'm starting to settle down into a more of a routine, and I'm getting a little bit more free time as I develop where I can and can't, afford time for being the full-time YouTuber kind of thing.
Right.
So he's working on it. Fingers crossed.
The Slide in My DMs was my favorite part of his channel. I watched every video, not as soon as they came out, but they were always added to my watch later, and
Yeah.
I watched every one of them because I really like seeing everyone's opinions on stuff, on rulings and stuff, and then I like to compare, at least personally, just with how I would rule that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Anthony,
thanks.
pretty popular.
Another $27.99. Appreciate
Awesome,
you,
man. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely appreciate you. Double fireballs, light cleric fighter. You know what was actually interesting is I expected him to have melee,
Oh yeah,
but he didn't. Like he's all spells.
He did get close that one time.
Yeah, that's because of ancestral guardians.
Yeah. Do they
Right.
follow him? They do, don't they? They
Yeah.
follow him around. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't
Mhm.
place
Yeah,
him.
it's like an aura around him.
Spirit
Yep.
guardians.
Yep.
Ancestral guardians. Spirit.
Spirit guardians. I think.
I don't know what to call them.
Yeah, I think it's called spirit guardians. I'm sure somebody will shout that out here.
Ancestral spirit.
Ancestors protect me.
May they protect you.
That's how you know what generation we're from. When we start quoting things like Hot Rod, that's yep, that makes sense. But yeah, other than that, everything's been going really good. We're getting geared up. I need to. I'm thinking about writing a little quick recap, and doing some audio for it, so people who have not watched all of season 1 but want to jump in on season 2 can kind of get an idea of the big bullet points and what's happened.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we got to sit down and find out what the most important parts are. You know.
Yeah.
Because some of that's been so long ago that it's hard to remember, especially when I don't know, mentally I have to juggle, okay, what has been released and what hasn't been released, and not make sure I don't spoil things.
Mm-hmm. Holden Graham asks, how long have you been painting minis? And welcome to the stream.
Yeah, welcome. Jeez, when did I...
Sorry, that's right. He did say Bolt. He did mention that he asked Bolt specifically how long he's been painting minis. Oh. No, it's fine.
Well,
I've been painting miniature figures for most of my life. I find that giving life to things that are tiny is very very fun, very noble.
Oh my gosh, does he paint the figures and then animate them?
They're all clockwork.
Yep.
All the minifigs are clockwork. So
awesome.
when you play RPGs with Bolt, all the figures come alive.
Holden, no worries about calling one of the players by their character name. I still call Dallin Ezra all the time when I'm talking about him in non-D&D context.
Yeah, even when we're out at lunch or something. I'm like, oh, and then Ezra. Sorry, Dallin.
Haha. Yeah.
And as for me, I've been painting miniatures about since I got my resin printer, which was 2 years ago? 3 years ago.
3? Yeah.
3 years ago. Yeah, and I didn't do a lot of it. I've been doing a lot more lately.
Well, the end of the... It was more than 2 or 3 years ago, man. Because we were painting minis when we were doing the Broken Spear campaign, which was 2018, 2017.
But I don't know if I barely ever painted, though. I didn't have paint set up all the time. I kind of...
I just deleted a whole big list of things that we needed to paint for that final fight.
Okay, well, I'm a liar then. Thanks.
You are a liar. It's been a long time.
It's been 5 years?
Yeah.
5 years-ish?
I imagine he had a lot of time in the time chamber. Yes, that's where he learned. I've been painting minis for 100 years or more.
I've built so many sandcastles.
And yes, he has been making mini buttresses as well. That is...
everything has buttresses. Even if they're microscopic, you just can't see them.
That's what 3D printing supports are.
Buttresses?
They're just plastic buttresses.
We made that joke and I went and looked up what an actual buttress is.
Yeah,
and it's definitely not what I think it is in my head. So I'm still going with my headcanon.
Is it not a little it's got the L shape with the...
No, it's slightly different. Think of Notre Dame. Think of Notre Dame. You know the big...
You mean the burned down building?
Yes. You know the big pillars that go up like this and then they go in from the side and they're just stone things that go in?
Oh.
Those are buttresses.
Oh,
and
right.
yeah, just look it up. Just Google buttresses. Make sure you put the rests on it. And just look up butts.
I am just looking up butts. It's just butts.
Oh, just butts. Distraction. Got it.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, it's like
Yeah. It's like an architectural design feature, but it also gives support.
a good like stability.
And I still like the idea that like maybe Aneria and Bolt call like all like ledge and platform supporting.
Yeah.
You know, so like this.
It's always
as
crazy.
a buttress.
It's always crazy when I look up the meaning of a word and go, oh, I've been using it wrong. Oh dear.
Oh, I'm dumb. Oh,
Well-
honey, no.
Well, every now and then, the wife will ask me, like, what a word means when I say it, because it's it's a more complicated word that I learned from a book or something.
Yeah.
And I will go, well, oh, I don't actually know how to describe this or like define it. So
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to describe without using the word.
yeah,
you know?
that's what the echo is for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spirit Guardian's a double fireball, 320 average for 3 enemies. Wow, yeah. He didn't do a double fireball.
No.
No.
What's a double fireball?
So it would be a fireball and then a quicken spell fireball
Oh.
as a sorcerer. I don't know if he took sorcerer.
It's not like it doesn't like make the fireball do extra.
No.
You know.
No, it just gives you an extra fireball. Yeah.
A second fireball.
Yep. Fireball.
I can see
second
that.
fireball.
I can see that. So when you do
I
quicken
don't know if he took
spell,
sorcerer levels.
when you do quicken spell, do you have to declare that you're using quicken spell at the beginning of your action, or can you?
No,
So you can like drop a fireball and then all those minions are dead,
Mhm.
and now you can quicken spell and hurry and move it to a different location.
Yeah. Basically, you don't have to declare them at the same time.
Okay.
So yeah.
That makes sense.
So those things from the roofs in Anorlando? Anorlando? I've never heard of that. Or I have, and I've forgotten completely
And
about
Orlando is a Star Wars character. My man.
Lando's mom
It's like, yeah.
is a fictional city in the Dark Souls series. Okay.
Okay.
That would be why. I don't play Dark Souls. I tried to play the tutorial one time, and
I'm not good enough at games to play Dark
Yeah.
Souls. We could stream some games and you could see how terrible I am.
please check out the Black Ivory Inn mission. So is that like free online, Anthony? Because I can take a look at it right now if it's free. Black Ivory Inn. Yeah, switch over to the paint so we can.
So I'm doing all their
Their fur legs.
Their fur legs. Since I've got the fur color out, I might as well get it all done, and then I'll do their upper body flesh colored.
In adventure. Mission.
What are you looking up?
I'm looking up the Black Ivory Inn. I don't know.
I wonder.
I've seen a lot of like things on. Okay, I'm gonna have to look this up later. Is it part of their like full book, or is it just its own little separate thing? Is the question. I love to do those things are like one shots, right? Like that's a
What? Just like the ones that the YouTuber.
yeah,
content
like if
creators
it's a one shot that I'm going to be reading about and adapting, I'm probably going to do it more as a one shot than rather as a campaign, just because I don't want to. I like my campaign ideas to be a little bit more unique, so that if there's ever any sort of like question about
and that's one
copyright
thing-
and legality,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like,
one thing that's one of the downsides to streaming your games is making sure that things that you come up with or that you use are either properly credited
Mm-hmm.
or are so different that no one would ever be able to put two and two together.
Yeah.
And that is a downside, and so there is some benefits to not streaming stuff, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think Critical Role did it at first, right? They did everything was like named slightly different than what the book had, because I think they were worried about copyright issues.
Mm-hmm.
But now I think they still use Wizards of the Coast naming scheme.
Well, that's because they're in with Wizards of the Coast now, right?
Yeah.
Like once you're on the inside, you can start using whatever you want.
Yeah. Once you're inside.
The rest of us have to use Dark Elves instead of Drow if we need to write a story or something.
Drow elves.
Drow Elves. Remind me that I need to get you to. I need to find a good werebear figure to send over to you.
Oh, okay.
For the next, probably session in a couple weeks here.
Okay. Like,
oh.
Yeah, we've got a couple, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know we do. I'm pretty sure Artisan Guild or Titanforge had a month where they did like a bear cavalry thing.
Yeah.
Never fully finished a Dark Souls game. I get to the harder bosses a point, get frustrated and quit. Yeah, I understand that. And then after a few months, I start over again. Oh, that's me with Skyrim. I will. I'll be playing.
And every roguelite.
Yeah. Well,
or not roguelite. Yeah. What's the one where you die and then?
I never get tired of those though. But yeah, that's roguelite or roguelike. There's a roguelike, and then there's roguelite, which they are similar, but roguelite is a little bit more. I think roguelike is when you die, you start from zero.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Roguelite is you continue to progress by like upgrading pieces outside of the game and things like that. Like Dark Legacy 2 is a Rogue Legacy 2.
Legacy.
Which is a really fun game that I've been watching Palytime play on YouTube. And
what were you saying about Skyrim?
No, so for Skyrim, I will literally start the campaign, be like, okay, I'm going to commit to trying to finish the main game, and I'll get to Whiterun, and I'll be playing a little bit, and then I'll kind of go, yeah, but I also want to do these other missions too, and then I'll get sidetracked, and I'll start doing a bunch of other stuff, and eventually I just kind of go, oh, well, all right, I guess I'm kind of done. Like, it's not really interesting me anymore. Wish I had a regular crew so I could do streaming. I put so much work on my rolling campaign outlines and no adventurers to enjoy it. That I get the feels on that, man. There's nothing worse than having a game in your head and not having players for it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I spent 2 years putting stuff down on paper. It's always good to have, but yeah, it definitely.
Yeah. Don't spill on stream.
Well, thanks. No, I'm gonna. I had to buy a new bottle because I was running out of the flesh color.
Oh. At least, like, individually, they're not too bad.
Yeah, they're like $8 a piece. They're not great, but yeah, I mean, they last quite a while. Yeah.
So you're just going with the standard flesh color?
Yeah. Yep. Why, do you want them different?
No, I was just curious.
Be used for you.
I was just curious for the stream. I wanted to see.
Well, I'm just going off like this is what satyrs look like. For the dryads, I had to think about doing some kind of green.
Green, maybe. Oh, we could do one in green and one in like autumn colors, like an orange. Like here, I'll look it up for you. I'm gonna get your Face ID in there first. But I'm gonna look this up for you because there's a character in. Well, you know who Lunara is from Heroes of the Storm.
Yes.
But she has an autumn skin.
We all have skin in the autumn.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's scary.
And obviously she's a dryad, not a different type of dryad, but... I guess that one's still a little green. Let me see if there's a better one here. Anyway.
This is great streaming content.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely love it.
I was going to say something to Bosco. So, streaming and stuff is fun, and don't get me wrong, I would still continue doing it no matter what, right? But yeah, it's definitely a lot more work than just throwing a camera up, and there's a lot of back-end stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely, like... Be prepared if you do want to stream, which, it was always encourage that.
Yes, it was deceptively hard, honestly. There was quite a few things that we ran into that we were like, oh, shit, that's something we can't do. And, and a lot of it was like... So when you're DMing, a lot of times, like, people will build playlists and stuff. Well, you can't really do that on stream unless you get permission to play that stuff. And so you have to try to find free or... fairly cheap, music and sound effects and things like that. That in your normal game you can just play whenever. And,
Yep.
You know, no one.
That is one of the things
no
that I
one
miss.
care.
Like, there's a whole bunch of like artwork that I'm like, oh, I could just use this as a character description and be like, they look like this, you know. But
Yeah.
it's one of those just as a shorthand, because obviously like our games we need to go a little bit quicker and shorter than usual just because of the time frame. But I can't do that when it's a stream, because I don't want to steal anybody's art for my own personal gain.
Yeah.
Or my own professional gain. Personal gain, like, I'm okay.
Oh
like,
yeah, steal it all you want if it's your own personal game.
yeah, if it's not like, if I'm not selling anything, like, I don't know. I still feel kind of bad whenever I like take an artist picture, but I'm always a proponent of like, leave the watermark up. It looks fine. Like, I didn't pay for this, so whenever I show this off to people, they should know where that comes from.
Yeah, I agree.
And the Bosco did say, especially if one of the crew is much more tech savvy than myself. Why do you think I got him?
Yeah, I spent how many months getting everything ready? God, it was 2 or 3 months. Just getting like I had to build a fresh new computer for it with some specific hardware in order to run all the webcams and get all the webcams set up and get them working. And it was a project. It was fun. And I'm glad we did it. I don't want to do it again, but I will have to when we'll eventually do an upgrade.
Yeah.
We'll be upgrading to better cameras and stuff. And
Yep.
The biggest thing that caught me off guard, audio.
Oh, yeah.
Getting the audio to the point where it was listenable without being too overproduced, and oh man, that was tough.
Yeah, I remember episode 1 it's still pretty rough when
It
you
is
go back
pretty
and
rough,
listen to it. Yeah. But it's fun. It's always fun.
Yeah, that one, the audio was kind of surprising. That one was definitely something that was like, oh, dang, yeah, that's...
Yeah.
that was
And
a
I think
lot
that's the
harder
important
than-
part, right? As far as D&D goes, you can do D&D without the visuals,
Sure.
because there's a lot of people who do podcasts and everything. But if you don't have good audio, then it makes it harder to actually experience the full campaign.
And it was an investment. They definitely... Like, if you go look at our Broken Spear episodes... we just used a couple cheap webcams and one microphone in the middle of the table, and you can definitely tell that it was that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this one, we got multiple webcams, we got a mic for every person.
Yep.
I've got an audio interface that has 8 ports on it. I mean, the whole setup and everything was, and the computer. We spent like $1,400 on it just to get started. So it was a decent little chunk of money, but I think it's paid off so far.
Yeah. Holden says he's gotten used to Discord D&D sessions from COVID, so it never really bothered him.
Yeah.
Good. That's obviously, like, Discord and Roll20 are wonderful places for to play D&D.
That was I thought that was something awesome that happened with COVID. Like, COVID sucks, obviously, but
Yeah.
I thought the whole switch over to Roll20 and online went pretty smooth.
Yeah.
For what it was.
Yeah, like it was one of the smoother transitions. I know our group, we were in the middle of the Strahd campaign when COVID hit, and
that was an in-person one.
Yeah, that was an in-person game. And I asked them, I think we played like one game remote. We switched over to remote for one game, and afterwards everybody was just kind of like, it's not the same as in person, so
we switched
maybe we just wait.
Like we switched to a side game for a while.
We did some Bronze Battalion stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great, because I got to play.
Yeah.
But I was talking to you about this. I actually think I like DMing more than playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think, like you said, I think it's just because I like being in control of the narrative. Like, I like knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
In fact, when I told our mother about that, when I was talking to her, she was asking how the game on Saturday went and everything, and I told her that I liked DMing more than playing. She's like, "Yep, you like being in control." And it's true. Like, when it comes to narratives, I just like knowing what's going to happen.
Well, you're very much a storyteller, and so, you like being able to tell a story, and you're probably like me, where I like hearing stuff, and in my head, I create my own little narrative based on that,
Yeah.
And it happens all the time, and I have to be careful not to like overshadow someone else's, thing that they did or cool ability or spell or whatever, because my brain goes, it looks like this.
And then somebody else says something different, and you're like, but what about if it's this way? Yeah. And you've actually gotten a lot better at that, too. Because there were a few times where, I think in our first campaign we were playing 5th edition, or 4th edition, take a drink, everybody, where somebody would say something and you'd be like, oh, or what if it was this instead, kind of thing. And you've gotten better about making sure that you're...
I just let people be. People be.
Let them play their character.
Yeah.
Honestly, settle for an online-only stream like Godford or Cantrip Cast does. But again, I would have to get to learn it in Roll20. Roll20's not hard. I'll tell you that right now. I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult than it was. This is Bosco. Yeah. But it really was fairly easy to learn. And obviously, like, there's still things that I can master. Preston does a lot better than I do on that. But as far as just as far as like coming up with Fog of War stuff, it's not that hard.
Well, and they've streamlined it a lot too, especially after COVID, because there was such a demand on it, and I think they started being like, oh man, people really want to do online play.
Yeah.
And so let's work really hard on making this the best we can.
Yeah.
And I think they put quite a bit of effort into it.
Bosco, what is your fiance's character's name? He says that he plays a one-person game DMing for his fiance, and she plays a sheep folk celestial warlock, which is so cool. I love it. Sheep folk are awesome. Am I a furry?
Yeah, probably.
Probably. I love
scaly and avian-y.
Yep, I basically like anything.
A feathery.
I'm in any
A slimy.
Slimy. I will neither confirm nor deny my feelings towards slime girls. Thank you very much. Holden says he still uses Roll20 for in-person sessions. I would absolutely use that as well if we had a setup for it.
I'm curious, what kind of things do you do?
Let us know. Is it like just up in the background behind, or do you have like a table for it?
Or a table with a TV in it.
Yeah, because I think there were people who were even developing like mapping your figures to the figures on Roll20 so that you could move them and it would move the other figure as well. Name is Princess. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Tell your fiance I love her character.
Princess?
And hey, I threw you as a cameo in my game. Make Kes a cameo in yours. That's the rule, everybody. Kes has to be in all of your games.
Alert.
Well, he knew he was going to get a cameo.
Yeah, he just didn't know when.
Until you just literally spoiled it. I didn't say that I was...
Erase it. Skip back 5 seconds.
Yes, we did go through your cameo in this first session, Bosco. And probably the second session as well, just because he's going to be in and out of the eye there. So I hope I didn't did him justice.
You hope you didn't do him justice?
I hope I did him justice.
I think you said
that's what I'm trying to say.
Didn't do him justice.
Everybody brings their laptop, and we all sit at a table. It's an extension cord nightmare.
Yeah,
that would be a nightmare. But I like that, actually. It's nice.
Interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting way to do that.
Because then you can just like sit there and chat, and then if you need to, you can look down at the map, and not to mention you can watch people if they're trying to like. And this is a spoiler. I'm glad Preston's not here. Sometimes when we were playing his game on either the off game for the Bronze Battalion that we played, or the Faded Few game that I was in for a little bit there, I would take my character and drag it around the screen, but not drop it, so that I could, because it changes the line of sight without dropping the character.
Corey.
So I could see like what was around the corner. I know. I feel so bad about it. I mean, obviously, I didn't say anything, and I didn't let it affect my character at all. But every now and then I'd just be like, "What is around this corner?"
But as a player,
all right, then that's like 5 zombies. Okay, then.
Well, and there's like when you play in person, I don't feel like there's a very good way to do Fog of War style stuff. I think.
Yeah, you literally just have to describe until there is a combat.
Putting cardboard or something over the terrain, I guess, kind of works, but only to a certain point, and then.
Yeah, if you have no monies for minis, it's definitely the way to go for sure.
Yeah.
And yes, Bosco, you can squee as excitedly as you want. He was very fun to play, even though, like, I mean, obviously I didn't want to like make him too intense in the story, but he definitely was a little fun character to throw in there.
We had fun with him.
Yeah. There'll be a little bit more with him too. He's not done yet.
Yeah, so. I figured as much.
Yeah. And we also had Anthony Cassidy's cameo, or Lily Cassidy's cameo, I should say, when she gave the hat, or helped Bolt try on the helm with teleportation.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I hope you don't mind that I took over the design for that helm. I really like the idea
That's
of it
fine.
being kind of that Mongol style with the.
Well, if you
with
look
the
it up,
flap.
it kind of has a similar.
Does it?
a similar, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Helm
Helm.
of teleportation.
Yeah, so Holden, if you start seeing your players move their mouse around while holding down left click, oh yeah, it does have kind of that same look. They might be looking at your map a little bit. So keep an eye out. We were talking about Fog of War on the table.
Oh, yeah.
What I like to do.
Really, how there's not really a great way to do it.
Yeah, what I like to do now, and I did this with the final session of season 1, was like you guys can see the full map, but you can't see any characters or anything in that map, right?
Oh yeah.
And so like when Victor went around the corner and came face to face with an owl bear that he didn't know was there, kind of thing. So it was one of those things where it was like yeah, you still have to be wary, but
well, and that makes sense as far as like narrative goes, you know.
Yeah, it's just a different way of showing the mini map is by showing you all of the terrain, but not showing you any of the enemies or anything that's inside of it. You know.
Oh, I had thought about who said that if you don't have any money for printing stuff.
Holden.
So there are some pretty good alternatives out there. I've seen quite a few ways to print.
With like a regular printer, paper printer.
Oh yeah.
And you print them up and then cut them out and fold them. You can scale them in Photoshop and stuff.
Well, Roll20 works fine for him.
Sure, I'm just saying there are other options too.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
used to use those. I used to use I call them like paper penny minis.
Yeah, there's,
because you would fold them up into like a little. They were all order the stick ones, right?
Yeah.
Or that was the concept where it originally came from. And then you would tape a penny to the bottom just
for weight
and everything, or 2 pennies if it was a large creature.
Yeah. There are also Skinny Minis is another like brand.
Oh
They do
yeah,
a
where
lot
they're
of,
like
they're clear, so the
like
minis
your,
are printed on clear.
like your Common America ones over there.
Yeah. But they could fit in a binder and stuff. I think those are really cool.
Yeah,
Especially if you're traveling.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a traveling DM.
Yep. He says he's lucky to have a really good table with people who are also DMs, so it's an honor system. Well, now I feel like an even worse DM for a worse player for for breaking that kind of honor
Corey's
system.
gonna have to go apologize.
I am probably going to apologize next time that I talk to Preston. 2D standees work perfectly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And you know what? If I didn't have a 3D printer and I wasn't technical, that's probably the way I would have went. Probably would have went with the 2D standees because I still want some cool minis, but be able to print them out or have them printed out already. And
with the way that our stream is set up, I probably would have said we go with the
tokens.
Yep. Because I had like a bunch of old Magic cards and a bunch of old Warcraft trading card game ones that I was going to punch out, and I still even have the pog things, the little circles, the wooden circles that I was going to put them on. And you basically just take a 1-inch hole punch, which people who don't like to hear cards ruined turn away, because you punch a hole right through the card through the art that you want, and then you just use a little bit of super glue, stick it on there, and you've got yourself a token. I draw landscape scenes for my players to itch that creative nerve. I drew a vampire castle for my campaign's finale. Very cool.
If you're not in our Discord, you should join and you should share in our.
We'd love to see those
art
landscapes.
area.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see that kind of stuff. I think it's fantastic.
I have gotten cheap enough to steal figures from Candyland and Lego Men before. I've done Lego Men.
We've done candy, like literal candy.
The literal candy.
Yeah. And then if you kill the monster, you get to eat it.
I lost a couple game pieces for Small World because of D&D.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I was like, I need something that looks like a wisp, or I need something that looks like a satyr, so I grabbed some of those
tokens.
Yeah, some of their cardboard tokens, and then I was unable to recover them at the end. So
we've had a few things disappear. Dice, some little terrain things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happens. I don't know. We were playing at a couple places where there were some very large dogs, and I'm wondering if something fell off the table and they did a quick
Yep, scoop it up.
slurp, and that's where the dice went, and it ended up in the backyard in the pile, Yeah.
Starbursts were our candy of choice too, actually.
Yeah.
They do work really good.
And especially the mini ones, the unwrapped mini Starbursts. When we were still playing when those came out, and they did a good job.
First started to use coins as well. That's a good one. That's a good one to use. One thing that I do want to get is I want to get a few more of the number tokens. You know, the 1 through 10 ones that you have, the rings.
I have up to 20.
No, what I mean is so that we can do, if I have 2 different types of minis, like a soldier and an archer, we can do soldier 1, 2, 3, archer 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay.
Because the way that it works in D&D Beyond is it gives you ABC, right, for each one. And I know, like, last night we had 1 through 9 on all of the figures for that combat, and then I had to be like, okay, where does these ones start and where do these ones start, because I couldn't remember exactly which one.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you like Excel, just do that. Can you... So, in D&D Beyond, I haven't looked, because I haven't got there yet. Can you custom name them? Like,
no. Well,
put a notation next to them?
No, it seems like that's something that you should be able to do for the encounter builder. Unless I just don't know and they can do it now. Basically the rule with the Starburst is when you killed the enemy, you get the Starburst. That's your reward.
That makes sense. So, that the person that does the most damage.
I think Casey's right. It says it's the goblins that are stealing our things. We do have an infestation of goblins. That is sure. Yep.
Yes, that's true.
And the kobolds are hard at work trying to get rid of the goblins, and it's just a really bloody mess down there. Like, it's not fun.
Yeah. Like Bloody Bloody or British Bloody?
Bloody Bloody.
Bloody Bloody?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Although it is also a bloody mess. That's,
a bloody mess. Yeah. A bloody mess.
Here's a good question for you, Scott. What is your default goblin in your head? Because I have one that's in my head, but I want to know which ones are in yours.
World of Warcraft goblin.
Really? That's the default for you?
That is the default for me.
Short stack, just kind of straight,
short,
a little
skinny,
greedy.
like lithe.
Yeah.
They got the big ears, long pointed nose, and they blow shit up.
Yeah, that's the very American goblin,
the
right?
Very
the American characters.
Capitalism.
Yeah. For me, it is Magic the Gathering's Onslaught set goblins.
Okay.
They're a little taller than the Warcraft ones. They are lankier and thinner with like really long arms. Same kind of like general features with the big ears and the long noses, but they are just like a swarm of goblins running around and everything like that.
Yeah.
And they're a bit more tribalistic and just kind of like, basically it's like whoever wears the biggest hat,
who's the strongest becomes the leader.
The pack-led method of rule, right?
Yes.
I don't have a big enough hat for this.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What is your default goblin? Do you go with the Lord of the Rings, the D&D?
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings one are basically just like skinnier orcs to me. And when I saw him, the first time I saw him in theaters, I was like, I think that's supposed to be Goblin. And I think you were like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So the goblin, you can always tell which ones are the goblins because they're the ones that are typically below ground.
Yeah.
Because they do not.
Sunlight.
Yeah, they are like they go blind in the sunlight or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Labyrinth goblin, says Casey. Yeah. You got your little.
I don't know if I know what those look like.
They look like puppets.
Well, yeah. I mean, everything in the labyrinth looks like a puppet.
Labyrinth goblins.
Even the cod piece is a puppet.
They are basically like kind of like your Dark Crystal-esque.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. They have a more variety or a bigger variety to them. I remember reading in, I think it was 4th or 5th grade, a book where.
Okay, back to your goblin.
Oh, sorry. This is relating to goblins, where a character goes, or a kid finds his way into Neilbog, the goblin city, and it's like goblin backwards, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember what that book is, so if anybody knows that. Mine's the Goblin Attack Squad from Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, I need to remember that one. I think they are orange-ish? Red or green, big ears, small, mostly cute. Yeah, everyone loves a cute goblin. Hot goblin.
Hot goblin.
Sorry, you were saying about goblins.
I think that the spark soot goblins, I think what the card is called from MTG.
Sparksoot goblins are from... That's an artisan guild.
Well, I know they did that, but I know, like, the MTG goblins also did, like, a lot of explosive stuff when I was playing a lot. And they kind of remind me of WoW goblins, and I think that's probably why I like the WoW goblins so much.
Let's see. Sparksoot goblin comes up with just the... yeah, it doesn't come up with any magic cards. Let me see if I type MTG next to it. There are, like, plenty of, like, artificer goblins out there that are...
Yeah, because I remember having some
yeah.
red cards where...
Well, so we started out... Like, when we started really playing MTG, it was Onslaught.
Urza Saga.
Well, so we played during Urza Saga, but we really didn't get into MTG until Onslaught. Like, we kind of dabbled a little bit here or there, played it every now and then, but then as soon as Onslaught came out, we were, like, old enough, and it was one of the easiest sets to jump into because it was all tribal, right?
Yeah.
If you wanted to make a deck, you just went...
I like this type of creature.
You like playing elves, I like playing goblins, and that was it, right?
Which is funny because I don't like elves in anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I think these days, if you had a choice, you wouldn't play an elf deck. Like, you'd play like a tree folk deck instead, you know?
Tree folk, worms, giants. Giants are kind of cool.
Goblin Grenade. Is it Goblin Grenade? My friend has an artificer goblin whose armor acts as a cooking pot for their chef feat. Ah, I love it. I love it. I kind of like the idea that, like, maybe their armor, like, extends out with an iron belly that has, like, the pot in it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then, like, during combat, they throw, like, random pieces of dead animals that they're taking out. That was Holden again.
Nice.
And Brian P., welcome. Goblin Grenade. And yes, I did look up the Goblin Attack Squad, and I do enjoy me some anime, but most of the time they really have...
It way off?
No,
from what you would think,
it's basically just like humans with larger noses and green skin. Like, they look a little bit more like orcs, and that's just anime, right?
Yeah.
They always do their monstrous orcs and whatnot. They always look just a little bit like, this is just like they drew an anime character and turned it green, but that's all right. Elves in MTG are evil as hell, bad as slivers. Yes, I love slivers. That was the other thing that I hated playing. Yep, Goblin Grenade. Oh my gosh, that is a hilarious art for that. I love that. Go look it up, and it's that first image is just perfect.
So I saw something on Facebook today that was the Paladin Grenade, and the guy was like, our party has 3 very stealthy characters, a rogue, a monk, and a bard that's got high dexterity. Mm-hmm.
And then the cranky paladin. Yeah.
And they're like, so every time we sneak somewhere, we were trying to figure out how to do it, and so... maybe it wasn't a bard. Anyway, one of them had the spell that turns you into mist.
Gaseous form.
Gaseous form.
Mm-hmm.
So they turned the paladin into gaseous form, put them in a jar, and make sure they have an hour to do what they're doing. Sneak in, and then when they want to, they throw the jar, and out comes an angry, righteous paladin. I was like,
for maximum anger, shake it up a little bit before you throw it.
Yeah, make him a little dizzy.
He chose the bees. Yeah, I know. Thank you for forgiving me. We actually have some slivers that we printed off. We need to paint those. They look really good, though. I just love the concept of slivers, just because there's so few things that MTG...
That was like one of the first tribal decks that I had come across, because it was the first one that did a lot of, like, for every other of this creature type, you have X or Y, you know? And there wasn't a ton of things that did that. There was some, like, vampire stuff, but it was more just, like, there was, like, 1 or 2 that said other vampires get +1/+1 or something. Yeah. And they do a lot more of that now, so you can pretty much build any deck out of it.
They're called... It's funny because you'll remember them as lords, right?
Yeah.
Their creature type was a lord. They were the goblin lord, or they were merfolk lord, kind of thing.
Vampire lord.
And it was always like give +1/+1. I was researching, or I was not researching. I was looking at card previews on a Reddit the other day for Dominaria, and they have a lord set for one for each of the colors, right?
Okay.
And somebody goes, "Oh, we finally got another new soldier lord. This is awesome." And like 2 comments down from that is like, "What is a lord? I don't understand what you mean by that." And it's like, "Oh wow, there are people who
You're
don't
too
know,
much of a peasant to know what a lord is.
Oh wow, because they don't call them lords anymore. Like they don't.
Yeah.
They give them their proper
title.
Yeah, well, they're proper. Yeah, they are counts. And,
They're counts and
they give them their proper like character types and
Burgermeisters.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's always really fun to like ask people what their individual taste in character in a specific monster is.
Mm-hmm.
Like when everybody thinks of dragons, obviously asking that here is going to be a little a little biased because we probably all think of dragons as 4 legs and the back wings. But if you ask normal people, some will come up with the wing arms,
the
and
wyvern
some,
style, and some will be the more like traditional, like Chinese
or like
dragon,
Chinese dragon,
which kind of stuff, which is awesome. I love the South American version, like the Quetzalcoatl.
Oh yeah, like the
style.
the flying serpent style.
Yeah, that's
Those
one
are
of my
really
favorite
cool.
ones.
MTG Slivers and D&D Kruthix kind of share the same vibe. Yes, they do. And actually, funny that you should mention Kruthix and Slivers because the aberrations in my game, the aberrant creatures, which don't have a name yet, but I will always just call them aberrants, they are based off of that similar concept. They are adaptable creatures. They are highly, like... In fact, the original gatherers that you fought, the aberrant gatherers, were just reskinned young Kruthix.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And Kruthix are like... the best way to describe them...
All I think of when I hear Kruthic is I think of the 6-legged creature that slashes Natalie Portman's dress costume open.
The tiger one?
No, the other. Sorry,
the Acklay. You're talking about the Acklay. That one
for some
only has,
reason, my brain goes, that's a Kruthic.
That was exactly how I was going to describe it to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
All right.
that is like the easiest way to describe it to you. Because,
The wormhole is open.
Yeah. But yeah, it is one of those things where it's easy to describe it as that, and it just looks...
Yeah.
It looks very similar.
Yeah, that's definitely what pops in my head with those.
Holden says 6 legs plus wings. What dragon has 6 legs plus
like
wing?
it.
Yeah, me
I
too.
like it, though.
And then Bosco says Blue Eyes White Dragon. Yep, that is definitely another one where it's like you're a dragon, but you're on 2 legs. Your Charizards, your Dragonites. Dragonite is my favorite. One of my favorite, like 2-legged dragons. Upright dragons because he looks so
I have a
doopy.
funny story.
Oh gosh. Yeah, right. Fine.
We were like, you were 8, I think I was 12. Whenever the Pokemon movie came out.
Yeah, the first Pokemon movie came out.
Yeah, we were into Pokemon cards, so we went to the theater, and you got your... This is when they actually did cool things at the theater instead of just, take your money. We got the, like, Pokeball with the built-in... Or the special card inside or whatever.
No, that was like a golden card that was separate, but this was just you get a promo card,
You got a
right?
promo card with it, and there was, like, 4 different ones, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we were young, so... Granted, we all got the same ones and didn't realize that they just handed all of them out in a bundle.
Yeah,
together.
it was just like tonight we're handing out.
We were walking out after we got our tickets early. We were walking in the car, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I hear Dragonite from behind me, like in the deepest voice I'd ever heard come out of Cory. And he was 8 years old.
I got really excited when I opened
the pack.
Opened the pack and got the Dragonite out of it.
It's fantastic. Yes. It's a core memory,
Yeah, they are
because
winged
of your
T-Rexes. Yes. Yay, a new core memory. I'm glad that I could be one of your core memories. Yeah, they basically are winged T-Rexes. That's right. I had, and I can't believe I think I either gave it to you or something like that, but I had when the original 151 Pokemon were out for the trading card game, I opened a foil Charizard.
Yeah, I think I probably ended up with it.
I think so. And then you sold it.
Off,
yeah. But I almost lost that at school because they were doing that. It was the time where you would like each pull out a card, and the one that had the more power would win. You would win that card.
Because no one knew how to play the actual game.
And it was just a gambling ring, right?
Yeah.
And so I pulled out the card. I pulled out Charizard, I was like, he's Charizard. He wins everything. That's why he's super rare, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody pulled out Venusaur and was talking about how Venusaur actually beats Charizard. And I was young and confused, and I was like, okay, but I'm not. I don't want to get rid of him. I backed out of that really quickly there.
Yeah, we're not playing for pink slips here.
Yeah. Well, that was the point. Is you were actually.
Yeah, I know. But they didn't want to.
That was like 2 days before they banned Pokemon in school.
Yes.
Because it was basically like kids stealing cards from other kids.
Yeah, it became a big issue. Everyone was playing with them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Digimon cards, we were into that a little bit, but not nearly as much as Pokemon.
I do not remember having a single Digimon card.
Oh, I had a deck or two.
Were there even Digimon cards?
Oh, yeah.
I would assume.
There still is, Corey. They still make new ones, as in, like, new sets and stuff keep coming out.
Digimon trading cards.
You remember the backing, what the backs look like?
I don't.
Look at the
card back. Yeah, I don't remember this at all. I remember. Yeah, I mean maybe vaguely, but any of those look.
That one.
That one. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember having any.
Yeah,
Digimon cards,
I think you mainly stuck to Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon.
Yeah, lunchroom TCGs were the best of times. I actually, in 7th grade, I joined the Magic the Gathering. The card club that they had there. It was called Card Club, and it was MTG plus Yu-Gi-Oh! And whatever else was popular, right?
I started that.
You started that?
Yeah, me and 2 friends.
I took it over in 8th grade. Like, nobody else wanted to run it, so I was like, okay, I guess I'll run it.
I convinced a teacher to stay after so we could do that, and we played Magic the Gathering, and at the time, Pokemon.
Was it Meryl?
No, it was Brimhall.
Brimhall? Okay. Yeah, because we ended up, I think... he stopped wanting to do it, and we convinced Meryl instead, one of the science teachers, too.
Yeah.
Because you always go to the science teachers, you're like, you're kind of nerdy.
Kind of nerdy. Can we do nerdy stuff, and will you watch us so we don't get in trouble? Because you had to have a supervisor or an adult.
Bosco says the new Digimon TCGs are badass. They got rebooted in 2029, not 2020, not 2028. Can't type, ignore me. I'm glad to hear that in 9 years or in 7 years.
They will be rebooted once more in less than 10 years.
Yep. But yeah, so we got into, anyway, going back to the whole Goblin thing, we got into Magic around Onslaught really heavily. And then the next set that came out was Maraudon. And those goblins were all about, like, artifice and being, mechanically scrapper inclined and everything. True. So, and probably more explodey than not. So how are these guys looking? Let's,
Not bad. They got their skin and fur stuff done.
All right. Looking good.
They don't... I'm a little disappointed. The skin doesn't look much different from the fur.
There is definitely, like... a subtle difference to it, though. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Now I'm just working on like hair colors and stuff. I'm thinking about going with just like your basic like browns and maybe.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like looking a little bit like the fur, browns and blacks would be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I might just do the fur color again and make it simple.
Yeah. Cool.
Sometimes you just want to paint lazily, and that's kind of how I want to paint tonight.
Yeah, I developed a lot of my fantasy. Likes during the Maraudon block.
Yeah.
Because...
Was that the first set I think I had a full collection of?
You had a full collection of Fifth
Dawn.
Dawn, which was the third portion of that block. The third set of that block. But we didn't have a full collection of the others. But I just remember, like, that's when they came out with equipment. That was the first set with that. And I thought it was so amazing. Plus, they had like all this
Tons
cool,
of
like
artifacts.
Everything was metal. Like all the trees were metal in Maraudon. Like it was so cool. Make one albino. Do we have one that hasn't been skin colored yet?
Unfortunately, they've all been painted already.
Okay, one has to have white horns then.
Okay, I'll do like the apothecary white.
Yeah.
See, it's the far right bottom one.
Oh yeah, that'll work. Yes, Maraudon was an amazing set. I'm so sad at what happened to it later on. What happened to the realm. Screw you, Phyrexians!
But I also love the Phyrexians.
Yes.
So I have a there's a war being waged inside of me every time I think about
There
that.
are two wolves. One of them is Phyrexian.
Phyrexian. Yes.
When y'all consider a homebrew item subclass feat workshop stream, I do a lot of this on my own, but would like to see other people's thought process and workflow on the matter. I would absolutely love to do a stream or a video on that kind of stuff, just because.
Do it with Preston.
Yeah.
Get him to draw the item you come up with.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Have everyone pitch in on their thoughts about it.
I will add that to the list, Brian. That sounds great.
Oh, Brian? I don't like that name. I'm just kidding.
It's Brian.
Oh, okay.
That's the good name. The way it's spelling. Oh, bump the mic. I'm sure that's gonna be fun for everybody.
Bonk.
Yep. Yeah, and then after that, we played through, and then it was Kamigawa, and you stopped playing around Kamigawa because the first set came. In fact, I don't even know if you got.
I did.
Anything in the first set.
I got. Actually, I had both the Kamigawa sets almost completed.
Yeah, but Kamigawa wasn't that great of a set. Like, it was fine. It had a really cool aesthetic, but it's widely regarded as one of the weaker sets in Magic's recent history. And I say recent, but there's been like 20 sets after it, which is insane. But it was really sad that you stopped playing Magic because the set right after that was Ravnica.
Yeah.
And you got into Ravnica a tiny bit. You bought the books for it, but you never really read them or read through or watched the cards or got to know the guilds and everything. And Ravnica ended up being
was Ravnica the one that was a lot of tribal stuff? That was mostly tribal stuff?
No, it was multicolored. So it was the two-color guilds, the 10 two-color guilds.
Okay.
I mean, it's been one of the most popular realms now, or planes. Just because it's been a D&D set too.
Yeah.
They've gone back to it at least 2 or 3 times, and then they went back to Dominaria for Time Spiral, which was like a throwback set where they had cards from the past, and then they had cards. They had a future side set that had cards from the future, or from the future that there are, even to this day. I'm like, I want to have a deck synergy with this card, but they have not printed this card again or anything with it, and I don't think they ever will. Absolutely love Kamigawa's all-time favorite set. Flavor-wise, Commander players would beg to differ that it's the weakest. Yeah, there are plenty
we don't take the opinions of Commander players here.
It's kind of what I exclusively play live now. So
why do you think I said it?
That yeah, okay.
I'm less of a player, more of a collector. I love collecting things. I get that big dopamine rush opening packs and stuff. And so yeah.
Yep, it's sad that you're not more of a player. I want to play Magic with you all the time. That's why I have Arena now, though.
Yeah, you can play with randos online.
Power level wise, shares at Sensei's Divining Top. Yes, Sensei's Divining Top and Pithing Needle were two of the major breakaways for that set. I also liked one of my favorite cards in that set is 8.5 Tails. He's a legendary Kitsune.
Okay.
But mostly it's just because I like the name. Yep.
Yeah.
And then when they came back to Kamigawa recently, that was awesome. I really enjoy them.
Yeah, that was sweet. That set was awesome.
And I think it's great for Magic to be let's just embrace this. The weirdness. Anything can happen in any realm.
Well, I like the idea that it went futuristic. I thought that was really cool.
I really I enjoy mech decks now, and I want to play more mech decks. Yeah, Neon Dynasty is yep. And then, of course, there have been some really cool sets that I saw and then just went, oh, okay, all right then. But I'm just going to move on and not play in the set.
Yeah.
But I dropped off around Lorwyn was one of the last sets that I still kept up with it through Morningtide and that set. Lorwyn was the first set where they came out with Planeswalker cards.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was after Time Spiral was when they restructured how Planeswalkers worked, because they had to basically, the way that Planeswalkers were was tearing Dominaria apart.
Yeah.
So they had to give up most of their spark and power, which Nicol Bolas didn't like. He took offense to that, which started the big chain reaction and everything. I never played Innistrad when it first came out. Amonkhet, I never played that, even though it was really cool. Ikoria, I saw that, and I thought that was kind of cool. I got back in a little bit during Shards of Alara, which I thought was a really awesome set.
Yeah, we've let's see, when did we pick up?
Maybe an influence for Tales of Aneria, actually.
We picked up again on
what's it called? The D&D one.
Yeah, so we started up again really in earnest on Forgotten Realms.
Yeah.
And then you actually went back and bought
Midnight Hunt.
And
then Crimson Vow.
Oh, actually, I think it was Midnight Hunt came out afterwards, and then Crimson Vow.
Yes.
Yeah. And Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow, like you started opening packs, were like, I can't believe that we didn't get in on the first Innistrad sets because these, like, this is really close to our aesthetics and everything.
Well, and I don't. Yeah, that was something that I was like, it was one of those like, well, this is right up my alley, and I guess it turned into it's a money thing.
Yep.
And when I have money, I spend on Magic cards. When I don't have money, I don't.
Yep.
They can be very pricey.
It's really feast or famine.
But it's funny because when I was a kid, man, I would have just killed for a booster box full of stuff. I remember you, me, and my cousin going in on a booster box and then divvying up cards.
Was it Brian? I thought it was your friend.
No, it wasn't.
I thought it was Cody.
No, I think it was Brian for the first time. But back then it was like $90 or $99.
Yeah, for like the tournament box, the tournament pack box, and we each got like 4.
But it was a lot of money to us,
Casey says she missed WoW loot cards. Yes, that was always fun going and finding like the last few scraps of WoW TCG cards to see if we could get.
Yeah, you guys would go all over the place looking for those.
Yep. Every time we went to like a new Target or a new Shopco or anything like that, we'd go in and find the last few that they had there and take them, and then. I think the last one that we found was an archives box that we found at a random place, and I bought it for Casey. It was like $40, and it came with like 3 or 4 packs. And she got not only did she get the Spectral Tiger, which is what she's been looking for, all that time, which was amazing because those things sell. They still sell for amazing if you have an unclaimed one. Like I think it's like $1,500 or something like that. But she also got like another mount out of it as well. I can't remember the other mount, but
it was like a $300 mount. Like
well, she pulled that one and she like called me into the room and she's like excitedly showing me. I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I'm leaving and she just starts like screaming and I turn back around and she's like holding up the Spectral Tiger. Like, holy crap! As a friend came over, have to take a dip. Talk later. Have a good one, Anthony. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for joining.
Yep. But it was a bear, she says. So.
A bear.
Yep, she got a bear.
I mean, I guess she's in the chat. We can just ask.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I was like telling the story. I was like, I know that she'll respond. Yeah. The new set just came out. Dominaria United for Magic.
Did it?
Yes.
Did it come out on?
Sorry, it's just on Arena.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's not. In fact,
we're gonna go stop at the card store.
Hang on just a minute. When is the pre-release? Dominaria United pre-release. Because if it's tonight,
you're gonna dip like.
So the release date is September 9th. So
next week.
It's probably already. It probably already had its pre-release. So. Previews, Arena launch, pre-release is September 2nd to the 8th. Oh, boy, no. Oh, dear. Oh, no, I have work tomorrow. Oh, dear. Friday Night Magic, Dominaria, 10 p.m. pre-release. That's in North Salt Lake.
You have to see the local shop.
There's one at Game Grid today. Huh, interesting. I thought they would have, I bet you I can look at Endzone's personal site and see if they have anything on there. I'm sorry, I'm completely distracted now because the idea that I might be able to go to a pre-release. Warcraft TCG was amazing. We never actually played it. We just got the cards. A gnome mage deck and an orc warrior deck. I really like the concept of like having a hero that was it basically was like Commander in a way, right? Where you had a hero class that kind of defined the deck and everything like that. Oh, let's see. I really am like Would you want to go to a pre-release with
No.
me? Nah, of course you wouldn't.
No, I want to go to bed after the stream.
Yeah, I probably need to as well. I really should stop looking.
You got to work tomorrow.
Okay, fine. All right. I have Magic Arena. It's okay. I can play on there. Everything's fine.
But when they do release,
Yes.
we're going to go get some.
Yes. Absolutely.
We'll make a night of it.
I play games like Magic Arena and Master Duels free to play because I'm a glutton for punishment. Same, actually. I don't really play. I know the one that I do play regularly and pay for is Hearthstone, just because I really like the aesthetic of it. And it's just a really
and by
fun.
pay, you mean you buy the set or the boost or the sets or whatever.
Yeah, I buy
because it's free to play.
Yeah, I buy the Battle Pass each month or each time it comes around because it's extra rewards and skins that I like, and then most of the time it depends on the set. Sometimes I'll buy the pre-bundle that comes with like a bunch of cards, and then I just spend gold on the rest of the cards. So, but but as far as Magic Arena goes, I spent a little bit on it. I bought the Battle Pass this last time just because I liked the card styles for the Baldur's Gate things. Like that was all really cool. Luckily, my fiance is a gamer too. We play Yu-Gi-Oh! MTG, Hecatomb Digimon, Unstable Unicorns, MLP cards. A while back, we gotta learn how to play. Yeah, my wife and I are. Yeah, you can have one. Yes. My wife and I are avid like video game players together, and she's really into superheroes as I am. So that really makes it a lot easier to have fun with your spouse when you two share a lot of the same interests.
Yep.
Now, if only she would stop liking horror movies so much. Then
Or maybe you should start.
Or I would I would start liking them more. I understand that there is some dislike for MTG Arena. There's a lot of hate for it, and it's very fast paced compared to normal Magic the Gathering. Mm-hmm. And it's more because you have a lot more access to cards, so you make a lot more meta decks than you would normally. Because the way that I like to play is a very limited style when it's face-to-face, where I'm I don't go online and I don't buy 4 copies of every card that I need for a net deck or something like that. It's just kind of okay, here are the cards that I have from the boosters that I got. Let's make decks with these and continually update them. And maybe I'll buy a pre-con every now and then in order to get a good start on a deck.
Yeah.
But with Arena, it's one of those things where it's very easy to just be what is the latest meta deck? I shall make that.
Recycle? Recycle your cards into new cards?
No, you can't recycle your cards. Yeah, it's all just a permanent add to your collection. So, what don't you like about Arena, Bosco? And then my wife says, "Never. I will never stop loving horror movies." All right, fine, fair enough.
Them's fighting words.
We will fight about this later. Yep. Mm-hmm. No. Well, we're about half an hour out right now.
Man, that went by fast.
Yeah, we doing good tonight, and it definitely is interesting to make a whole bunch of extra figures at once rather than just one at a time, so people can kind of see the difference in process there.
Yeah, I am kind of all painting them mostly similar though. So.
Yeah.
I've wanted to do a couple big ones on stream, but a lot of them I want to do with airbrush, and the airbrush is super. I don't know. Tell us how noisy this is.
Yeah, was that too noisy? Because we got a couple big ones that we'd love to paint on stream.
Because I wouldn't want to subject everyone to that. Because when I airbrush.
Oh, they want us to talk over it as well.
Oh,
so.
Okay.
That bass. That bass. Brian says, because it's.
Does it?
It
Can you hear it really
It
good?
probably rumbles.
Yeah.
It might be rumbling right up against that. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me move this stuff. Let's see.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, it might just create a nice little rumble.
Yeah. Usually when I airbrush, actually.
The great thing is we can look back later.
That's true.
And find out if we think it's too
we could
much.
have tested it before, but stream content, I guess. I generally use my noise canceling headphones and listen to audiobooks and stuff when I'm doing airbrush stuff, just because it's one of those noises that after a while it can get annoying.
Yeah. It says Casey says it doesn't sound too bad, so maybe we'll do that every now and then.
Maybe.
Yeah, Bosco. If I had real life friends that played Magic, I probably would stick to live Magic as well. As far as Arena goes, it gives me a way to play without having to really purchase anything, because if you just stay in the casual low end, if you play Alchemy, because all the really hardcore players hate Alchemy as a format, which is like their...
What's the format? What's the difference?
Basically, it adds cards that are only available online. That like have mechanics that can only work in an online capacity, and it has a lot more like they do like balance tuning for certain cards, right? Like they'll be like, hey, this card was too weak in the standard set, and we want to boost it, so boost that deck.
They actually adjust the card.
They adjust the cost or the attack or power and toughness. I'm telling you, Scott, an ASMR paint stream would be nice. Give us the work noises. Yeah,
Well, that would be like me wearing a headset and just a microphone like right next to the brush, being like, shh.
Oh, I saw a TikTok where it was a TikTok on Twitter, so I couldn't share it with you because you're not on Twitter.
That's a Twit Talk.
Yeah, a Twit Talk, where a girl is like doing an ASMR stream and she's like tapping the mic and whatever, and then all of a sudden, two hands come out from the side of the screen and slam eggs on her head, like raw eggs, and she starts like her eyes go big and she kind of pulls back, and then her little brother comes on to the screen and just screams into the microphone. And it's like,
that's brilliant.
Yes. Make a video play channel on Discord for MTG. Video play, like watching me stream Magic. That sounds awful. Who would want to watch me play? I should make a Discord. I can make a Discord channel for like other gaming and stuff like that.
Yeah. You could also start streaming again.
Yeah, that's true.
On your channel.
Yep. Maybe next time I get on MTG, I'll just start up a stream and.
You'll just start screaming. Streaming.
Yeah, start screaming. Yep. I'm fine with this idea. Make it happen. Do you want me to like crack eggs on him too? Can we do that?
As long as you don't get in my paint.
I like that building workshop stuff. I watch Adam Savage build stuff all the time.
Oh yeah, his pandemic stuff where he was the only one in the shop and it was just him like building things and kind of like talking through the process a little bit. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know if I would want to do it as a stream style thing because I'd probably just record it and maybe do like voiceover or just talk while I was painting.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did some pretty cool stuff and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I watched a video with him on Corridor Digital.
Yeah. Talking about like props and
yeah, well, so they came to visit and they did then he showed off his props a little bit, but they did one where they did a practical versus CG challenge, where it was basically like a scene from a Nicolas Cage movie where he gets his nose cut. I don't know if you saw him build that prop where he like built the fake knife in that scene.
No, that might be newer.
Yeah.
I'm
You're pretty far behind. Yeah,
I'm about a month and a half behind.
But he talks about how he went through and made this prop knife and everything and did the practical effects. And they took the amount of time that it took him because he recorded everything and how long it took, and as well as added the time that it took them to film like a scene with him getting his nose fake cut, right?
Yeah.
Complete with blood from Alien Covenant that he had on hand, by the way, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. And then they gave that amount of time to one of their CG artists and said, you have this amount of time to do the CG version, and we also like filmed that portion as well. So yeah, so they had to go through and at the end they're like honestly the best kind is the mixture of both that we made, and here's that one that took like a few seconds where it was mostly the practical effects. But they had to CG a little bit because, because the tip of the knife was loose. It was like just on a spring, and as they were putting it in Adam Savage's nose on the first take, it like wiggled a bit, so you could see it.
Oh yeah.
So they CG'd that off, and so they got kind of the best of both worlds out of that, which is awesome. Yeah, so people can play MTG on Discord, webcam commander. Oh, okay, all right, I like that. Yeah, that seems like fun. I have all the commander decks I have are the pre-made ones from like the different sets. Like I have all 4 of the Baldur's Gate ones, and I have one from Neon Dynasty, that mech one. And they're coming out with 2 for Dominaria United. And both of them look really cool, but one of them is a 5-color deck, and I'm not sure I'm ready to commit to a 5-color deck.
They're not very expensive, though, right?
An Aneria MTG tournament, like Vanguard Gatewatch. Ooh. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
You're tempting me. I
Cory's
like
got
it.
ideas.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know how well that'll work if we're doing it via webcam, but I mean, it wouldn't be that hard. You just point a webcam at your side of the board,
Yeah.
and talk into a microphone. That
Yeah.
that doesn't sound too bad.
Well, and if you have OBS, you can set up
Set up a duel.
just like this. You have you in the corner.
Yep.
and Your mat or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I do have an idea for something that I want to, a little challenge that I want to put out, a contest here in a bit, but I just need to get around to recording that too. I've got a lot of ideas.
You do have a lot of ideas. That's why you're the idea guy.
Yeah, I'm the idea guy, and you implement things.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
This is,
I'm the builder. You're the designer.
I
How
thought
about
this
that?
was your. I thought this was your laser pointer, and I pulled it out just like casually to start clicking it and everything. I'm like, this is an X-Acto knife. I'm just gonna stop
Yes,
touching things.
Be careful.
The 2-color commander deck that I want to make is my T-Mat as the commander, actually, because I have 1 copy of her, and I want to have her as I want to do a T-Mat commander dragon deck, especially with like there's some new dragons from this set that are really good too. Like I shared the art of one where he's a Viashano, and he's like he's like this kind of like large like warlocky type, and he'll allow you to play a dragon from your graveyard like once per turn, which is really cool. Oh, I hate theft decks. I absolutely hate theft cards. My brother-in-law, who I play Commander with, loves stealing my cards in games, and it frustrates me to know it. He did that with this last one. He had recreated his Commander deck on that game that we played on Saturday, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just, instead of picking one of the 4 Baldur's Gate ones, I decided to play the Neon Dynasty one because I hadn't played that one a lot, and it happened to be that his deck, he drew a card that stole all of my artifacts whenever it dealt damage to me. And I'm like, I'm playing an artifact-heavy deck. This is not going to be fun. Not going to be pleasant. Hey, Holden, thank you for the $2. Good night. Stay classy.
Good night.
You as well. Yeah.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, I have 1 Tiamat. I think I have a good chunk of. You have almost all the Forgotten Realms cards. You're missing a few.
I need to go look and see.
You're missing a Grandmaster of Flowers. I know that.
Yeah, I'm missing a lot of the showcase art ones.
Yeah.
The ones that are all special art stuff.
Yeah, gotta finish that up here.
Yeah, I
because
really should.
That is one set that is like, yes, that I want to have a complete set on.
Indeed, that was what, like I said, got me back into collecting Magic cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I even added a budget line to my monthly budget of just for saving up for cards, you know, so I can buy booster boxes and stuff.
Yeah. Bosco, what is your preferred style of play, your preferred deck? Lately, I've been playing. I've found myself gravitating towards black, actually, black-red, kind of like creature sacrifice, which I played a little bit before I stopped playing the last time.
Which
and I
is
had a lot
funny
of fun.
because that used to do a lot of red and a lot of white.
Mm-hmm, yeah, red and white used to be my bread and butter.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I was very much green
Yeah.
and occasionally blue.
Never touch blue, ever. I went from red and white to black and red because I'm like, man, no. I have played a little green, though. But that always felt like your territory.
Yeah.
Like, even today, I'm like, this is Scott's stuff. I don't want to.
Play green. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to get
Don't
mad
want to
at
step
you.
on his toes.
Especially with the giant creatures in green.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my favorite part of it.
You can't step on their toes.
No.
One of the cards that you get for one of the starter decks, the green mono starter deck, is a Gigantosaurus.
Ooh.
And it costs 5 green mana, so green.
Yeah.
And it's a 10/10. That's all it is. It's just a 10/10 for 5.
That's-
But it's 5
that's-
green mana.
Yeah, that's one thing I love is like rampant overgrowth on, plants and creatures and giant worms, and it's like, oh hey, here's a snail, but he's a 6'6" because he's like the size of a school bus. You know, I love that kind of stuff.
One of the cards that I got on Arena for the new Dominaria United was it's a black and green legendary tree folk that creates sapperlings. So, nice. And I'm like, this is right up Scott's alley too.
Yeah, I had a sapperling deck.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun.
Favorite color is white. Favorite deck is my green black Nomi food. Guillaume food artifact. I love me some food. That's a really cool. I love when they come up with these little tiny artifact tokens.
The ability to say, "I love me some food," and then take a bite of one of your chicken things.
What is Guillaume Master Chef? Is that MTG? It is a troll warlock. Ooh, it's a commander. Okay, of course it's a commander. That's why I haven't heard of it because he looks like Undar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Except for he's a troll, right?
Yeah.
A little bit like Undar there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Create a number of food tokens equal to the number of non-token creatures yet enter the battlefield under your control this turn. Then you can sacrifice a food. Target creature gains indestructible, and you tap it. Oh wow, that's really good. Yeah, I like that. Fiance is strictly green-blue. Green-blue is an interesting combination.
Yeah, it is.
Because we're from a generation where green and blue never really mixed very well until they started coming up with good mechanics to combine them together with. But it's one of those interesting ones. So there is a card. I'm going to tell you, Bosco. I know you don't like Arena, but there is an alchemy card that is really awesome on Arena, and I'm going to tell you what it is, and it has to do with food as well. And his name is Oya Minartok Polar Werebear is his name.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna write his name in the chat so that so that I don't have to try and spell it out. Wow, there you go. And he is basically what he does is he's a green creature. Here, there's what he looks like, by the way, Scott, for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, I guess we could show. He's just like a polar werebear with a bunch of fish. He's a fisher. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you create a food token, and you can sacrifice a food token to do what Arena calls draft, a card from his spellbook. And it's 15 different cards, and they're all sea creatures. Like he's fishing for sea creatures.
Nice.
And then you get 3 blue mana to spend on that sea creature. And it's everything from like a lionfish to a giant leviathan that you can fish up, as it were. And there's a lot of really cool. I love the whole spellbook and drafting mechanic in Alchemy. It's one of my favorite things because it's just like constant generation on value and everything. So I've drained the table for over 300 in turn. Wow, that's awesome. But I do like this new trend that they have of making like food tokens or treasure tokens. The one for Dominaria United that they have a thing for is Power Stone tokens.
Okay.
Which makes sense for Dominaria. But Karn, his one makes one.
Okay.
And basically they're artifacts that you can tap for 1 colorless mana, but you could only spend it on artifact stuff, which is because they're powering the artifacts basically.
I like
it. Yeah. But yeah, I like that card. I need to make a deck around this werebear, but I just haven't come up with a good idea for it yet. But there's a couple other ones in there that are like chef ones and other spellbook things that I really like from that set. Actually, the deck on Arena that I've been playing the most is a witch deck. Like I made a full like coven deck with like sacrifice creatures and whatnot.
You love like hags.
I do love my hags.
Is that your favorite like type of D&D monster? I know you love dragons.
Yeah, I do love me some dragons.
But a lot of people like dragons.
Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's. I do end up dipping into the Hagwell a lot because I do love the concept of it. I love me some kobolds. I need to play around with goblinoids more, and orcs. Obviously, like apparently, I have a really like big thing for orcs.
That's true.
Who knew? Yeah.
A non-horde player
who likes orcs.
Loves orcs.
Yeah, strict alliance for me. Yeah, wow, I really derailed with a 20-minute MTG tangent, didn't I?
Look at all of our concurrent viewers. Gone.
Yep, gone and no longer around.
They said, ugh, magic. Bunch of nerds. I'm here for D&D nerdery.
Yeah. So what'd you think of the first episode? We just watched the first episode of Rings of Power.
Oh, well.
And I wanted to get your opinion on it. Obviously, we haven't watched episode 2, and we're not going to do any spoilers for anybody.
Grand, sweeping scenes and shots.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep. Felt very much Tolkien, it felt very much like Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings. Right.
Like, I'm pretty sure they probably were taking some inspiration.
They are actually filming in New Zealand as well, so that obviously,
It's no longer New Zealand, it's Middle-earth.
Yeah, it's Middle-earth.
Right. Meandering, as far as the plot goes. Yeah,
It was a setup episode.
I was a little bored. Yeah, I'm
Really?
hoping that the next few episodes are much better.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions about stuff, but that's part of the... There's a lot of like background and lore in Lord of the Rings that I don't have any clue about, and I really don't feel like reading the Silmarillion or any of that stuff. I haven't even really read the actual Lord of the Rings books, but yeah, there's a lot of that kind of like background setup stuff that I have no idea about, and so when they're like, this is the age of so and so after such and such, and I'm like.
All right,
they didn't explain it, so this means nothing
cool.
to me.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Yep.
Casey said that we could watch it without her, which we were anyway. Like she was just there this time. That's what I told her. I was you were just in the room. Like honestly, we were watching it whether or not.
I want to watch it. You want to watch it after the stream, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Okay. I might have to just go to bed though because I have an early morning tomorrow.
That's true.
Yeah. Bosco says that his other deck is actually built around Bosco, his character.
Oh.
And that brings up a good point.
So lots of like illusion stuff.
Yep, it is a illusion mono blue tribal deck, which is what he says. So, if you had to build, never mind, this is an easy question for you. What would Bolt's deck be like if you built around the character concept of Bolt?
Around Bolt would be Artifice. It'd be construct stuff. It would be.
So you could do like a white blue Artifice with some like monk synergy in there too, true. Which would be really cool. But yeah, it would definitely be just like would you go with like a vehicle Artifice or would you go with like a equipment? Or
it would be like constructs and golems and stuff, and then obviously equipment. But it would be mostly colorless, I think. Let's see, Perrin would definitely be. It'd be black for sure. It'd probably be mono black at that point. It's just zombies and ghouls and stuff.
Yep. Perrin being your necromancer character
my
from
necromancer,
Strahd.
yes.
Yep.
My ranger would absolutely be a red-green.
Oh yeah.
With like monstrosities and massive beasts, because that's the things that he liked.
That he hunted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That all.
And then my sorcerer.
Would have to be a multicolored deck, like full 5-color multicolored deck.
There is some really good like wild magic stuff out there too.
Yeah.
Where it's like destroy everything on the board, and then reveal the top card of your library until you reveal that many permanents of those types and put them back on the board. Like it literally just like Christian has one where it literally just wipes the game board and resets it with a new game board, which I'm like, yeah, that's perfect.
It's like Armageddon style, but
Osgear the Reconstructor as Bolt, somebody says. Or Bosco. It's not somebody. We know who it is.
Not somebody. We know who he is.
Yeah, we know who he is. Osgear the Reconstructor. Ooh, Giant Artificer. White, red. There you go. Yeah, that could work. You could do a really good and that's the great thing about artifacts these days is they're no longer colorless.
Yeah, but I've gotta go with Karn.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if Karn is just one of my favorite characters from Magic Gathering.
He can't be your commander though.
Why not?
Unless they specifically say that this planeswalker can be your commander.
I thought you could technically make any character you want.
Not planeswalkers. Legendary creatures. So if you had a legendary Karn, which I think there are some like.
Well, I just go with the past, the one from the past.
Yes. But yeah, that is
That's kind of a little bit of the inspiration for Bolt was my love of Karn and Mirrodin and all that stuff. So
yeah. I think for Kes, I would do, because if I had to pick one character to make a deck around, it'd be Kes. I would do it would be an artifact deck similar to Bolts, but I would do a lot of, they have all these like individual like factory cards and individual like construction ones that I think would work really well, and a bunch of like different scrap cards where it's draw a card, discard a card, or discard a card and then draw a card, that kind of thing.
Right.
Which is the whole scrapping mechanic where you're just like sifting through junk trying to find what you need. And I really like that concept. I think that would work. Plus I would have at least one ogre in there. Just for hug.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And an airship. You've got to have
the original Karen Silver Golem. I know that was a mistake, but somebody please draw, or at least a Photoshop
Karen hair on top of Karen.
Karen Silver Golem.
I'll do it. I'll take Bolt's picture and put Karen hair sticker over the top of it.
Yeah, so it's when he blocks or becomes blocked, he gets -4/+4. Then target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness equal to. I mean, yeah, that's still a good commander. It literally comes onto the field and you can turn all of your artifacts into creatures and send them in.
Yeah,
so that works.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, he was from Urza Saga, by the way. That was the original.
My favorite set.
Yeah.
Mainly because of nostalgia. I'm sure if I look back, it'd be like, it's probably meh at this point.
Urza Saga is still one of the more powerful sets. Rancor is an insane card in this. Well, actually, you know what? I don't know in this day and age, but they reprinted it like in one of the standard sets, and it became a really big like standard card for.
Really?
Yeah. But we are getting close to the end of the stream here. We got about 9 minutes left.
10 more minutes.
Yep.
Now I
think you can do. Yeah, I think you can do a little bit, or are you done?
Oh, I totally missed a spot there. I hate that. I hate that so much. I'd be like, yes, I got everything, and move on to the next spot, and then find, totally missed this spot.
Although if I had to make a deck for Audian, it would be a blue-green deck.
Yeah.
It would make sense.
Yeah,
right?
that makes sense. Yeah.
Some rampant
ocean
growth.
Creatures and some growth stuff and some healing. And...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I might throw a little bit of white in there. Do like a Bant.
Stuff, yeah.
That's the other thing that I really like about Magic these days is because there's been so many like unique combinations of Magic that have been given proper names. Like you can identify things instead of by being like, oh, I'm a white green deck. You're like, I'm a Seasnia deck, because that's the guild from Ravnica. Or if you go tricolor like blue, white, green, it's called Bant because that's one of the shards of Alara where they didn't have any sort of like red or black mana on their shard.
The shard is like they're like a plane.
Yeah, so basically what happened with Alara, and this is telling on a little bit of maybe a little bit of where inspiration came from for Aneria, is there was some event that caused the plane to split, and they blocked off each section of the plane, and it also locked away 2 of the colors of magic. And it developed, it developed each of the 5 into like its own individual ecosystem on like what would happen if a plane didn't have black and red mana. And the answer is like it's a very structured, militarized area where champions fight one another to end combats quickly, that kind of thing, without having to and then like then there was one that didn't have red or green, and it was very much like an artifice. Everything is really structured, even the weather was like controlled by wizards and whatnot. And then there was one that didn't have green or white, and it was a deathland.
Did they ever reunite them?
Yes, they did. The second set was Conflux, where they started coming back together, and then the third set was Alara Reborn, and that was an entire multicolored set. They did not have a single monocolored card in that set.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice.
Yes,
Shaloon, Teller of Tales as the dungeon master of a D&D themed deck. Ooh. Yeah, obviously, like, if I had to make a deck, it would be a dungeon master deck. I have always wanted to do like an MTG campaign, as it were, where you start out with 10 cards or so, maybe some like weak commons, and then as you go through and fight stronger and stronger decks, you also get to add new cards as rewards. Basically like a roguelike, right?
Yeah.
And I thought it would be really fun, but again, that requires people to
People
to
that
play
like
with.
Magic the Gathering and
Yep.
yeah.
Which, who knows? Maybe we'll make a Discord for it.
Maybe someday.
Oh, yeah, I like this guy. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Let me see.
Oh, I closed out of it already. Was it on here? No, it was just on here. So his name was Chulane, Teller of Tales. He is... Oh, no, not eBay. He's a human druid.
Oh yeah, I like him.
Very, very cool looking, very dungeon mastery. Here's a different version of him, apparently, that's even more. That's Deckard Cain, if I've ever seen it.
Stay a while. And
Yeah,
listen.
I don't like. That is definitely Deckard Cain. Literally done that with your old group. That was a blast. Awesome. I love that. I always like when I start playing a game. I always start thinking about like, what if we did like a campaign version of this?
If only we could be full-time D&D players, right?
Yeah, then we could.
Oh, that'd be so nice.
Yeah, then we could do all of this extra cool stuff. I actually have a full campaign written out for a Sentinels of the Multiverse game set, where you play like specific heroes and specific scenarios.
I have the Sentinels RPG.
Yeah, and we both had the board game coming in. But I mean, like playing individual rounds of Sentinels with like a little bit of an overarching story, and you can only play certain characters at certain times, that sort of thing. And I actually used to have one for HeroClix too.
Oh.
I was coming up with a really cool like mixed HeroClix universe.
I love HeroClix
With like different battle maps and different stuff. Like it was really cool.
I really want to play the Marvel.
Oh, you mean
what's it called?
Infinity Crisis?
Yeah.
You actually have been printing some of these off.
Infinity Crisis.
You want to show this guy off?
Yeah, sure.
You'll have to take him. You have the camera. Yep. This is you've been printing off some custom ones that people have been making.
Infinite Crisis?
I think it's called Infinite Crisis. Yeah, it's like a miniatures game, but like Archangel looks really cool. Arcade, you have like I love the fact that they're dipping so deep that they're pulling things out like Arcade. Which why hasn't Strikeforce come out with an arcade event?
You know,
yet?
I don't know.
That seems like that would be a no-brainer.
And then I have Apocalypse. And aim goons, but
And aim goons, yep. Some beekeepers. Oh yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, I definitely want to paint these as well.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff to paint. I got a lot of
I got the Marvel Crisis Protocol, that's the name of it.
Crisis Protocol. I knew you'd remember it as soon as...
Yeah, I got a bunch of those to paint. I've got a whole bunch of like Star Trek figures from Star Trek Adventures that I want to paint. Like I said, I need an army of me.
Yeah.
To do all this, or to make it my full-time job.
All right, let's round out the night here with you just kind of showing off what you got done.
Okay, I'm finishing up my bow.
Yep.
Or her bow, I should say.
Herbo. Is that her name?
Herbo?
Herbo?
She's a herbalist.
Yep.
So yeah, I got the fur, skin, horns, and feet. And I'm working on like the wood parts now. Most of them are standing like on a, like you can see right there, kind of like on a log.
On a branch, yeah.
Yeah, like this one in particular is on a big branch coming out of the ground.
Yeah, for extra support. Yeah, I do like the blonde hair that we went with on the...
Yeah, so I've got two with blonde hair. I got two with the brown hair that matches the fur.
Do you have boots with the fur? No, it's hooves with the fur.
Hooves with the fur. And then I got two with black hair. Come on, there we go, focus.
Very cool. Good progress on these tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
I'll finish them up. We'll pick some colors.
Didn't get to the dryads, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Yep.
We'll get to them. They're going to be pretty easy, actually. They're basically just greens.
Yep.
Just plant stuff.
Just plants. Just plant things.
Just plant things. Yep.
Well, thank you so much. Bosco says, crack open a Red Bull and get working, Scott. LOL, clone thyself.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. It has been fun.
Oh, yeah. I'm having a blast doing this.
Yeah, we got to just meander a little bit. I know we Like, if you have a topic that you want us to talk about next time that isn't Magic or D&D, let us know. Like, we'd be more than happy to chat about things.
We'll,
like, just
we'll
ask
talk
us how
about
we feel
anything.
about something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sci-fi, comic books, superheroes, other nerd stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do appreciate everybody who joined us tonight. Thank you for the wonderful donations.
Yep, appreciate it.
Don't forget to like the video, comment on it afterwards. Share it with your friends.
Fight the algorithm is what Preston calls it.
Fight the algorithm.
Vanguard versus the algorithm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Share with friends if you know people that would want to watch us just shoot the shit or even play games. So.
Yep. Yeah. Let us know if you'd like to do more. I know we might do a homebrew stream now because there's been a little bit of interest in that, and a little bit's enough for me.
Yep.
So
we'll put it down. We'll write it down.
Yeah. And we actually have an end screen this time. Yay! So, yay! Thanks, everybody, once again. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Bye.